Okay, folks, it's that time of the year for both high school and for college. And I mean, with college right now, we're right in the midst of all of the tournaments for the conferences to find out who is going to go to the NCAA tournament or the NIT. But I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, the high schools. And I am going to give kudos to both the Mynderse girls and the Waterloo boys. The Mynderse girls, yeah, I've been critical of them, especially of their coach, Hannah Brown-Trice. Because, hey, when she came on the job, she did a few things that I didn't agree with, especially the way she treated Isabella Dugan. Because Isabella Dugan could have really made a difference, I think, helping out the Mynderse girls. Well, of course, with a first-year coach, there can be growing pains. But you know what? It seemed as though as the year went along, Hannah Brown-Trice and the girls kind of gelled a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of a rough season, but once the sectionals came, they started playing some pretty good basketball. And yeah, they made it all the way to the B1 final, only to fall to Hornell. And I mean, Hornell probably ate some good chili, if you know what I mean. But I digress. Hannah Brown-Trice, this should only bode well for you moving forward if you want to continue as the coach. I mean, heck, sometimes, like I said, sometimes things kind of don't work the way they should in a rookie year. A rookie year is about feeling your way and in a way kind of seeing where you stand. Well, let's hope what Mynderse' run kind of helps you along and helps you moving forward. That next time, don't make any impulsive decisions against players, because that's what I think got you in trouble in the first place. But we'll see moving forward if you want to remain Mynderse' coach. But what a great run by the Mynderse girls. My hat's off to the Mynderse girls. There you kind of see my unkempt gray hair. Oh well. And of course, the Waterloo boys. Yeah, the Mynderse boys were one of your victims on your way to the finals. But you were a quarter away from maybe winning the whole thing. Last time the Waterloo boys won a sectional title, I was like 9-10 months old. I was still a baby, and that was back in 1972. I was born in August 1971. But, you know, I guess you waited a little too long to go to the full court press. And heck, when you're down by 10 points with 1 minute to go, coming back is almost impossible. But the world of inquiry was a little too much. Of course, that Rochester Charter School, I mean, heck, sometimes they don't face good competition. But this competition apparently was pretty good. Waterloo, my hat's off to you, the Waterloo boys, and especially to the beast, Dylan Caraballo, who looked like Stephen Curry the way he played in the sectional tournament. Good seasons, Mynderse, Waterloo, both. Now let's see what the off-season can do. Of course, with those two, it's time to get ready for spring sports. But for one local team, the Lyons girls, it's on to bigger and better things, hopefully. Because if Mynderse had beaten Hornell, it would have been Lyons and Mynderse playing for the overall Class B title. But I gotta question something. I mean, the qualifiers apparently down in Wayland-Cohocton. It's only 20 miles north of Hornell. And Lyons does have to travel maybe about 50 or so miles to get down to Wayland-Cohocton. Why couldn't they put that game a little closer? Like maybe Marcus Whitman High School or maybe Canandaigua High School. Who knows? That's Section 5. We don't make the rules. But you know what? Let's get behind the Lyons girls, who should still have Marty Colgrove as their coach. But no, they went in a different direction. Yeah, kudos to them. They're doing great. But they do a lot better if Marty Colgrove was their coach. Think about it next time, guys. And hey, somebody get Marty a nice job. Marty is a darn good coach, and he deserves it. But I digress. Let's go, Lyons. Keep it going for the Finger Lakes. Now I'm going to go from talking about Section 5 basketball to Syracuse. Could have been 2 wins to end the regular season. Heck, but a la Adrian Autry, vintage 2024-2025, to build up a big lead and then lose it. Apparently, one thing Adrian Autry can't coach is defense. Heck, we could have upset SMU down on their home court. And I mean, hey, they hit the winning layup with only a few seconds to go. J.J. Starling could have still won it. He launched the ball from 52 feet, and it went in and out. Oh, Syracuse could have still won that game. But I digress. But heck, they did have a great win to end the season against Virginia on their home court. Virginia seemed to be in the same state we were. And of course, Tony Bennett retired at the beginning of the season. And you see, Virginia struggled. And I mean, Virginia is right now, like us, struggling with this darn transfer portal. But I digress. I mean, Syracuse, thankfully, the end to what has been a gruesome season. And heck, Adrian Autry now has to deal with that transfer portal. And yeah, Wildhack said that Autry is coming back next year. Oh boy, I don't know whether to be excited or say, oh heck, I wonder what Kyan Anthony is thinking. But heck, they still got a little basketball left, because tonight is the start of the ACC Tournament, and their first opponent is Florida State. Yeah, Florida State took care of business against us down on the court in Tallahassee, but yet this is a neutral court. And right now, Syracuse seems to be playing fairly decent basketball in their last couple of games. But we'll see what Adrian Autry and the big dog, Eddie Lampkin, can do. Maybe we can pull out a couple of wins. But I still think even if we get near the final, it may take winning the game to get into the NCAA tournament or get into the final to make the NIT guys make a little notice. But you know what? We'll see. Finally, it's the end of a miserable season for Syracuse, so we'll see. Same thing with the Syracuse women's team. They lost in the first round at Boston College, and heck, it wasn't a good season for the girls. Felicia Leggett, Jack, ought to figure out a way that we can get some consistency. Same way with Autry. Let's see how we do in the ACC tournament. And speaking of the lacrosse team, a nice win against Johns Hopkins. Yes, I mean, our big rivals. That at one time was the rivalry in college lacrosse, because Johns Hopkins has such a great tradition along with Syracuse. And you know, maybe this is back on track for Syracuse. The win against Johns Hopkins can hopefully catapult Gary Gate and the team into maybe the top 10 and maybe getting towards number 1 by the time we get to tournament time. But we start heading into the meat of the schedule, and Notre Dame and North Carolina and others lie ahead. We'll see how the lacrosse team does. Let's go, Orange. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about the Bills with the impending free agency. Tomorrow is when the, quote, fiscal year pretty much begins for 2025-2026. And teams can start doing free agency. And Buffalo has already made a few preemptive moves. First, signing Khalil Shakir then to a contract extension, then signing Terrell Bernard, and then Greg Rousseau to contract extensions. Of course, they cut loose their punter, Sam Martin, and also they cut loose Von Miller. Of course, Von Miller is kind of showing his age now, that he's not the elite rusher that he was. Well, you know what? That Chevy Von Miller seems to have parked. He can go to another team, and that's all right with me. But the big news, Josh Allen being signed to a big contract extension that hopefully is going to keep him in Buffalo for the rest of his career. 6 years, $330 million. What a contract. And I mean, heck, he's got to keep on playing at an elite level. But I mean, hopefully, Brandon Beane's not getting ahead of himself. Because sometimes others get signed to those big contracts and then they don't work out. And then they cut them. Josh Allen's right now at an elite level. Let's hope he stays that way. And also, we signed a good wide receiver from the LA Chargers, an underutilized wide receiver. Let's see if maybe Josh Allen can get him to an elite level. But anyways, I have to say goodbye to Mac Hollins. Yeah, New England supposedly signed him, and that's kind of sad. He brought a little flair, especially because he was barefoot, and why we call him Tarzan. But you know what? That's the way free agency works. And of course, in a little more than a month, we'll see who the newest Bills are with the NFL draft. Let's start looking forward to that. And that's all I have for this week as we get ready for tournament time. And next week will be my look at the NCAA tournament, see how it works. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story for this week.